You have the tools. You have the confidence from the coaches. It's now your job to go out there and execute at that level. I know that you know exactly what needs to be done today. Let's go do it. No more talks. You know exactly what is expected and the standard today against Louisville. Let's go.
Brian Kelly's team knows the quality of Louisville, saw them in the opener last year. It is the third ever meeting between these teams, with Notre Dame ranked number 4 in the country. No rain in the forecast, but there is lots of wind in South Bend. It's from the south, so right to left as you watch this game. But as you see, it swirls inside the bowl here. It'll gust to over 30 miles per hour during the game, batten everything down, including the face shield. Watch this pregame. Scott Satterfield, the coach of Louisville, going to wear that shield. Ain't going to work in this wind. It'll be the regular face mask for Satterfield. First time in 86 years, Notre Dame has played its first 4 games in South Bend, a place where the Irish have been terrific. Today they go for a 22nd consecutive home victory, and here come the Irish. Brian Kelly told us earlier this week, we got to play better than we did last week against Florida State. We'll see how they do as they come out. One guy who continues to play well, Ian Book, we know his great record, 23-3. Undefeated here, 12-0 as a quarterback at Notre Dame Stadium. Well, they were surprised last year at 8-5, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak today. Second visit to South Bend for the Louisville Cardinals. But a turnaround, Scott Satterfield was at Appalachian State, the head coach, second year at the U of L. His debut last year, that loss to Notre Dame, but since then they'd improved, trying to take care of the ball better a bit here this year. Downstairs to the field, here with Brian Kelly, our Catherine Tappan.
Coach, after a COVID outbreak that this team experienced, you returned to the field last Saturday night and had a win. No new cases for your team this week, so how have preparations been different against Louisville?
Well, I think we got more consistent in preparation. I think our guys got into a routine that we hadn't seen, obviously, in about a month. So their preparation was really, I thought, on point, and they're prepared to play today. You know, they've got to play with a high level of execution against a good football team, but my expectations are that they will.
This is a hungry Louisville team, have yet to win in the ACC this season. What is the biggest challenge that they present to you today?
Well, you know, obviously they're extremely athletic. They're well coached. They're sound fundamentally. And again, I think that they've had some experience with some winning. They won last year, so they know how to win. They've got playmakers on offense, and defensively they're very difficult with their scheme. So, look, it's about us again from week to week. We've got to execute at a high level. If we do that on a consistent level, we'll be fine.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, Catherine.
Mike?
All right, Tap, thank you. With the Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy. A lot of head shaking as Brian Kelly was talking. We'll unpack that in a second. All right, 3 games. There's been a lot to like with Notre Dame. What do you see as you watch them go into game 4 here?
I see them trying to do what Coach Kelly talked about in his pregame. Play to the standard. Play that 60 minutes. No lapses. If they do that, they're a very, very good football team.
Scott Satterfield of Louisville inherited a mess that Bobby Petrino left when he was fired as the head coach. Got them going last year. They're 1-3. What do you see when you watch the Cards on tape?
You see talent, you see explosiveness, and you see a team that's kind of beaten themselves. So what they have to do today is eliminate the self-inflicted wounds. On offense, no penalties, no sacks, no negative plays. If they do that, they will move the ball and they'll score points.
You coached 100 million games, wind as well. What's the checklist in the wind for a head coach?
2 things. Number 1, run the football well yourself. Number 2, stop the other team from running. I think that's going to be the emphasis for both teams today.
That's when the age-old stuff comes back, right?
It's old school.
That's right. Again, a crowd maxed out at about 10,000 students, faculty, staff, player, parents, the only ones on hand here in the wind in South Bend as the Irish try to get to 4-0 and continue their steps towards a potential matchup with number 1 Clemson in here 3 weeks from tonight. Will get the ball here. I will tell you that it is flatter than it was for the other 3 home games for whatever reason. Everybody just seems to be tempered emotionally a little bit as we get started with this one. That's been the case with all the football we've been watching all fall. Players got to bring their own momentum to the party. Rod Travelstead will kick it off for Louisville. Chris Tyree, the freshman for Notre Dame, back deep to receive. Set to go. Cards, Irish, and off we go from South Bend. Line drive kick. Tyree a couple deep. Took it as he backpedaled, takes a knee, and Notre Dame will start it out at the 25-yard line. Well, the wide receiving core, very interested to see if they continue to take a progressive step as they did last week. Javon McKinley, first 100-yard game of the year last week in here. Liam Eichenberg played the second half last week with his left eye nearly shut. He has a shiner to show for it, but is back there anchoring the left side with Banks and Patterson, Kramer, and Hainsey, all protecting Ian Book. Got that war paint on to protect that good view in there of the black eye, but he came back when they could get a contact in his eye in the second half last week. Book the first play, looking up top, looking sideline towards McKinley. 50-50 ball that he can't bring in. It's incomplete.
And Mike, Coach Kelly told us that we wanted to really
flag down, offside on Louisville. Go ahead, Tony.
Coach Kelly was telling us he wanted to see his young wide receivers keep progressing, wanted to target them upfield today, and he starts out first play of the game going that way.
Chandler Jones did a nice job. The corner finishing through the play to knock it out, but the Cards were offside, so it's 1st and 5 for Ian Book. From the 30 with 4 in the pattern, Book gets it out. It is incomplete, trying to get it right back to McKinley with Keitrell Clark, the corner on the cover.
We wondered if we might not see this with cornerbacks, a tough position for Louisville because of a targeting call last week on Marlon Character. He's not starting. Wondered if they'd attack them early on, and they're coming out throwing the football.
And Ian Book's going to battle the wind as well. He's been consistent, reliable. Really all Notre Dame could ask for the first 3 games. His offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, thought he played one of his better games last week, even though the stats didn't show it. The patient run for Kyron Williams, top 10 in the country, rushing yards per game. He'll get the first down out at the 35-yard line.
And going behind that left side, Eichenberg, Banks, and Tommy Tremble with the lead blocking. You're going to just see zone blocking here. As you said, good patient run. And again, Kyron Williams just finishing going forward.
You pointed it out. The stats pointed out. That is part of what the sophomore out of St. Louis does so well. Look over to the sideline for a second thought on 1st and 10. And Book back to the air and complete. There's Kevin Austin for the first time across midfield into Louisville territory. A gain of 18 to the 47-yard line. Austin, the junior from Fort Lauderdale, has been out with a fractured foot.
Yeah, in the slot, just wanting to get the ball to him again. Coach Kelly mentioned this to us. These young receivers want to see them get targeted. And Kevin Austin back in the lineup and getting the ball right away. That's something Notre Dame wants to do.
Played just 3 snaps, Tony, in his return last Saturday night against Florida State. Folks around the Irish program feel number 4 can stretch the field, give them a big play receiver. Williams to the right. He'll gain 3, 44-yard line there. Jared Goldwire, the best man on the defensive front for the Cardinals, with the stop. You know, this was one of the worst defenses in college football a couple of years ago. They've already given up 47 twice. You saw Goldwire there. 2 good linebackers on the inside of their 3-4. C.J. Avery is the captain, leader of the defense. You'll hear his name and Etheridge's a lot. Keitrell Clark out with a hamstring injury last week, returns, and as Tony said, that's important because one of their starters, Marlon Character, out for the first half with a targeting call. Corner blitz coming, and flags are down. We'll get our first call of the afternoon, a second call, I beg your pardon.
False start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Approach in this ACC crew. Liam Eichenberg jumps early. There is Clark, Character, I should say, so he can come back in in the second half. We'll watch the first half from the bench. And even when there are targeting penalties now in college football, when that player is ejected from the game, he can still stay on the bench. You just have to take that walk back to the locker room. They've eliminated that this year. 2nd and 12, designed run for Book. Ian Book with a lot of room. Gets the first down and slides down at the 30-yard line. Run of 19.
And Notre Dame knows that they're going to run the ball. They've got to take care of the nose tackle goal wire, and you're going to see Banks, the left guard, with the nice help, double team and open it up for Ian Book. Double team and then come off. Huge hole.
Marked at the 31. Book throws inside, incomplete. That route was read well from the back end by Russ East, senior out of Danville, Kentucky. Had a really bad leg injury last year. They're so happy to have him back and playing more like the guy they saw pre-injury a year ago.
You could see the experience there. He read that route, drove on the ball, close to a big interception there.
Notre Dame subbed, so the umpire stands between the center and the quarterback to allow Louisville time to react before 2nd and 10. And Book looking top side, comes back to Michael Mayer, just overthrows the terrific freshman tight end who grew up 90 miles southwest of Louisville in Independence, Kentucky.
2 tight end look. Louisville playing run. Had a chance with Michael Mayer, just slightly overthrown. See him coming on the deep cross. He gets behind the linebackers. Just didn't get dropped in there correctly.
We've seen a couple of throws with Book. This wind will be a factor.
It's tough.
Touch throw, you try to drop it in there. 3rd and 10, trips to the left. Book has an open space in front, stays in and throws, complete to Skoranek, who has the first down at the 15-yard line. So Ben Skoranek, his first Notre Dame catch after 110 for Northwestern. The grad student who injured his hamstring in the opener comes back.
This is the bunch look. Ben Skoranek is going to run the in route. Michael Mayer clears it out, takes the coverage away, and this ball was dropped in. Good read, good throw.
Tony, you can see almost intentionally Notre Dame targeting the wideouts, targeting downfield, adding that to their game. From the 15, Book looking to take off, can't squeeze through, and he'll be brought down. Raymond Puryear, redshirt freshman out of Eastern High School in Louisville, with a stop.
Yes, this was another quarterback draw, designed run, but the blitz coming off the outside. And because of the extra man, just unblocked defender, Puryear makes the play.
Something Louisville's going to have to do to try to generate some pressure. The 3 guys alone not going to do well against the 5 up front for the Irish. 2nd and 11, Book pressured here and in trouble one more time, and he'll go down and get sacked. So they bring the extra man to the secondary, Chandler Jones, and they get the sack.
That was the corner blitz. They ran it when we had the false start penalty. Corner comes off again, and you're going to see some guys open, but Ian Book is under duress with the corner blitz. It wasn't picked up, didn't have a chance to find anyone. And Brian Brown, their coordinator, said they're going to have to take some shots, take some chances to stop Notre Dame.
Irish hasn't seen a lot of 3rd and 16 this year. Here is Book, he'll come sideline. It's caught by Avery Davis. He'll only get a couple of yards to the 14. That's a very good job by Louisville's defense as Notre Dame got in the red zone. Ketro Clark, the tackle, field goal unit on.
Yes, they took the chance with the corner blitz, got the negative play, got him in long yardage, sat back and played zone, forced the field goal. That's a good first series by the Louisville defense.
I want to tell you, Jonathan Dorr, the kicker for Notre Dame, had a really poor warm-up session. Fighting the wind, trying to hook the ball from right to left. Off the right hash, he barely made a field goal. This is left hash and 32 yards with a swirling wind. Out of the hold of Jake Bramlett, the punter. And that snap on the angle because of the wind. And if you didn't see the warm-ups, you wouldn't believe that Dorr
put that one right down the middle.
Pured that. It's a gamer, right?
Yes,
it's like on the range, you hit 10 good ones, you get to the first tee, and you snap it. Just the opposite. He snapped them all on the range. middle of the fairway with the first one. 3-1, 3-0 Notre Dame.
The performance of individuals and collectively, two that I want to give the game balls to, because we're not standing here today without Rob Hunt and Dr. Matt Lyons.
Well, the athletic trainer and the team doctor, Rob Hunt and Dr. Matt Leisler, both getting game balls last week. Tony, that's a rarity. I don't remember ever hearing that, but given everything with COVID, that really is a great awareness by Brian Kelly.
It is, and Coach Kelly told us how difficult that this has been, up and down, and just battling to get everybody back, and those doctors and trainers have done a great job, and Coach Kelly's appreciative of that.
Not just here, the entire ACC, all of football in general. Hassan Hall picks it up off the bounce across the 20. Hall with some good space. He's the backup back for the Cards, and he takes it out to the 30-yard line. Nice return for Louisville to get started. Let's go check this Louisville offense. Their quarterback Malik Cunningham will introduce you to in a moment. Around him, a well-coached, potent offense. Playmakers, small and super fast. Tutu Atwell, 4 scores in 4 games. It's a pretty good offensive line. One of the better ones the Irish have seen so far. Even after they lost Mekhi Becton, the first-round tackle who went to the Jets. Cole Bentley leads them. The quarterback, Malik Cunningham, from the 30-yard line. A bounce give to the outside. A good run here with Cunningham blocking for his top back. The speedy Javian Hawkins leads the ACC in rushing and has a first down with a 13-yard gain.
And we've seen Hawkins do this, Mike. This is just an inside zone running play that's supposed to hit right over the center. He bounces it to the outside. He has vision. He has quickness. He has toughness. He's going to be a difficult back to tackle today.
5'9", you can almost see him hiding back there a little bit behind the big guys. That's Atwell in motion. Second run to the left for Hawkins. Won't go anywhere. He'll be stopped. So the quarterback is Malik Cunningham. He was recruited to Louisville while Lamar Jackson was winning the Heisman. He's a junior from Montgomery, Alabama. Last year he became the starter, 22 touchdowns, 5 picks. But Tony, that same number of interceptions already, 5 in the first 4 games, is a little bit of a concern on this staff.
It is. He hasn't thrown the ball as well as he did last year. His decision-making, Coach Satterfield told us, hasn't been as good. We'll see how he does today.
Redshirt junior, chased by Adi Ogundeji to the sideline, and then shuts it down as Drew White was about to hit him. It'll be a loss of a couple of yards. This Irish defense was not happy with the way they played in the opening frame against Florida State last week. Jason Adamiola gets the start up front. Myron Tagovailoa Amosa available but not starting. Brian Kelly said you might see 2 or 3 different players at that outside linebacker spot that Shane Simon gets the first call at. In the secondary, I want to point out Tariq Bracy. Good game last week. He's going to start at one of the corners, and all the corners figured to get tested by those Louisville wideouts here today. Sean Crawford started at corner last week for the Irish, back at safety. 3rd and 11. Cunningham throws, broken up. Kyle Hamilton from the middle of the field. The sensational sophomore safety breaks it up. 3 and out for Louisville.
And this is really something that we expected to see too. Kyle Hamilton really with eyes for Tutu Atwell in these big 3rd down situations. Atwell running the in route. That is an excellent play, Mike. No interference, going over the top, getting that left hand in. Well done.
Brian Harwell will kick with the wing. Matt Salerno is back for the Irish. Going for the fair catch. He's going to make it. 47-yard catch. It'll be marked at the 11. 47-yard punt. Caught at the 11, and that's where the Irish will take over as we are halfway through this opening quarter.
Toast to the return of Notre Dame football by raising a pint of Guinness, now a proud partner and official beer of Fighting Irish alumni and fans. Please drink responsibly.
Back here in South Bend on this beautiful autumn Saturday. There's Rob Hunt. Everybody's got their they're doing such a good job masking up on the sideline. We can't find people. There's Rob, the athletic trainer for about a decade here in South Bend. Good run. First down, Kyron Williams. Quick through that hole. He'll gain about 6 yards. He'll mark him up at the 18-yard line.
running behind Brock Wright at tight end and coming to the right, get that power running game going. We talked about it during the break. Okay, yeah, we threw the ball to our receivers. We want to see those young guys, but let's get back to what we do, and that's pounding the football.
See 89 over there on the left next to 24, Tommy Tremble. They're blocking for that guy, Kyron Williams, in the backfield. Those tight ends also involved in the pass game as well. It'll be a draw. It's Williams pulled down by the arm that time, and he'll get the first down as he moved it out to the 28-yard line. So a solid game for Isaiah Hayes.
Now let's go back to the left side, Mike, and we got Tommy Tremble, Brock Wright over here, Liam Eichenberg, and we can go left and might get a little washed down in a big hole there. That is excellent blocking, and of course you got a back who can take advantage of it.
33, Hayes has struggled with his tackling this year. Just yanked him down by the arm. What's the first down?
Here comes the corner blitz again.
Yeah, third time they've showed it. Williams there to pick it up. Book has time. There's a flag down as Book goes down and is sacked. So Louisville, Tony, that's 3 times they've shown what their intentions are here today. We'll check the flag first.
Personal foul. Legal use of hands to the face. Defense, number 2. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's the corner blitzer, Chandler Jones.
Kyron Williams told us this when we were talking to him yesterday. The backs did a lot of work on scanning the field and picking up these blitzes from either side. Kyron Williams does a great job coming across, picking it up. There you see the hands to the face.
It's a good call in there. And it's one to get it up to the head giver. They continued up there. Didn't let it slide off. Jones like, I'm 5'10", I'm a corner, I'm not a pass rusher. Let me get away with that. Little pop pass here at Avery Davis. Speed on the edge for Davis into Louisville territory and a first down at the 46-yard line. We've seen Davis everywhere. Dual threat high school quarterback, a little bit of running back, been over on the defensive side. Tony seems to have found a home in the slot position.
He really has, and again, that is one of the emphasis for Notre Dame today. Coach Kelly said we've got to get the ball to our receivers, get them working, whether it's up the field throws or screens, anything to get them the ball, get them involved in the pass game.
In book 4 of 7 in this early going. Get to Williams. Off the bounce to the outside and can't get past Rajay Burns, the outside linebacker. He played at Ohio State, start of his career. 3rd year at U of L. Gained a couple.
Good job there by that Louisville defensive line, getting that stalemate, making the ball bounce and holding the run down.
27th start for Burns. He started his career as a cornerback in Columbus. The fake and coming around to get it is Davis again on the edge, and Avery Davis with a first down to the 34-yard line. So a lot of different looks from Tommy Rees and the Notre Dame offense in their first 17 plays today.
And they know that this Louisville defense is going to flow to the ball. So again, misdirection, good run by Davis, but trying to keep that Louisville defense from just flowing too fast, trying to slow them down early in the game with this misdirection.
It's the former starting quarterback of the Irish, who could see himself slide down the record books on an Ian Book touchdown pass today. Line side pass here is incomplete, intended for Braden Lindsey. Petro Clark was alone over there in man coverage and did a nice job.
And he did a great job. He played this route well, read it, and if this ball was on target, I believe it would have been intercepted. That was great coverage on the outside by Clark. Undercut it well, anticipated the route, created a 2nd and 10.
Chris Tyree is the back. Freshman from Chester, Virginia. And he's got it on the read. Speed to the edge, but he slipped as he tried to cut it up. Contacted by Monty Montgomery. Gain of a couple. We have 3rd down coming up here with 4:15 in the opening quarter.
And that was an excellent job by Montgomery. He was the backside inside linebacker, flying to the ball. Just got enough of Tyree to get him down. Otherwise, it would have been a big gain.
Louisville defense playing with energy here these first couple of series.
They are, and C.J. Avery, their linebacker, told us they had to practice better. They had to play better. They were not satisfied with their performance the last couple of weeks.
3rd and 8 field goal from here on a windy day is a 50-yarder. We'll see what Book will do with 5 in the pattern. Thought about dumping it to his outlet, instead goes ahead. He couldn't get away from his center, Jared Patterson. So the gain is only out to the 29, and the flag in the secondary is going to be a hold on the Cards to keep a drive alive.
Holding. Defense number 3 of an eligible pass receiver. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And again, this is Louisville kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They did just what Coach Brian Brown wanted. 3-man rush, had Ian Book bottled up, and you get a holding penalty when you've got 8 in coverage. And there's the penalty right there.
Russ Yeast got tied up. He and Kevin Osborne were about to hand fight. I think they might have let the hand fighting go, but then as he went to grab his legs, that was a easy one. So it keeps the drive alive. Irish get back in the red zone from the 19. Book on the look to the tight end, nearly intercepted. Tried to get it to Michael Mayer, and Keitrell Clark almost had a pick.
Yeah, we're going to see Michael Mayer really on a tight end wheel route. He's going to start up the field. And again, this is about the 3rd good play we've seen by Clark, coming off and close on the interception.
They've had good coverage a couple of different times here. You're right, should have had one there.
And Louisville's dropping into a zone here. We'll see if Ian Book goes to the run.
2nd and 10 from the 19. Williams squeezes through, pinballs down to about the 13-yard line. It's a run of 6 and 3rd and 4 coming up.
He gained 6.
Getting great push on that right side from Tommy Kramer and Rob Hainsey. Just power running off the right side, creating a manageable 3rd down.
We're seeing 3 big receivers in the bunch at the bottom. Book looks and throws underneath, complete right at the first down line. Mayer fighting for it. We'll see where the spot comes. It's at the 9. It is.
Got it.
Yep.
Just that extra effort fighting going forward.
Michael Kelly, the head linesman, said, you got to get right to the 9. You got there, move those chains. It's 1st and goal, Notre Dame. It's a very lopsided first quarter here as Notre Dame has run 22 of the 26 plays. Tommy Tremble, the blocker, the tight end, the do-it-all guy. Right?
Yes, he is.
Always a big factor down here. He's so often blocked. We'll see if he leaks out for a reception. From the 9. Book, end zone shot. Incomplete for McKinley. And one more time, Chandler Jones got a hand on it.
I'm really impressed with the way these corners are playing. Notre Dame is getting some one-on-one shots. This is going to be just a fake the play action, one-on-one slant, and it's well defended. Good technique. Big body, we know, in McKinley, but Chandler Jones played that very well.
3 times Louisville's had secondary hands on the ball.
Ian Book's wanting a penalty there, but that was just good coverage.
2nd and goal, both Williams and Tyree in the game, and it's Tyree running to the right, fight inside for a couple of yards to the 7, and it will be 3rd and goal from there.
Yeah, big play here for the Louisville defense. Now this is they had a couple 3rd downs. They'd let Notre Dame off the hook. Need to get this one stopped and hold it to a field goal.
If you can get out of here, and there you look at Brian Brown, the defensive coordinator for the Cards, you can get out of here having 25 plays run against you in the quarter and only 6 points.
You'll feel great. You'll feel great about it. Notre Dame spreading them out, a 4 wide look.
And for the pattern, Book scans, takes off, not going to get there, chased down, good speed, Monty Montgomery to get there. Stop Book for a loss, and it's another field goal attempt for Notre Dame.
And this is another great job by the Louisville secondary. 4 wide receiver look. Receivers all over the place, but there's no one open. They're covering and spying with Montgomery. He was spying Book, and he had the speed to chase him down. Well-designed defense by Coach Brian Brown.
Louisville's defense stopping Notre Dame twice in the red zone, and now Jonathan Dorr will try a second field goal attempt. This one from 30. Good from 32 earlier. And smooths that one through from 30 with 30 seconds left. Notre Dame 6-0 on top, even though they've dominated play in this first quarter. It's Saturday Night Live. Issa Rae is the host. The musical guest, Biebs, Justin Bieber.
Okay.
All right, you like that, huh?
Yes, yes. My boys will be watching.
We'll get back in time to watch it. All new Saturday Night Live. Later tonight on NBC. Lots of plays, but only 6 points to show for the Irish. First downs are 10-1, so lopsided everywhere but the score. Credit Louisville's defense for that. 6-0 at the moment. Hassan Hall on the return. Got some space here. Ran into a wall right around the 28-yard line. Brought down there. Jordan Botello with the stop. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Together, taste better. By Just for Men, mustache and beard for a gray-free game day. And by U.S. Bank, helping you pursue your passion. Like this one and all these ND roll calls. Louisville, Kentucky basketball. A fan from the Commonwealth there who also is an Irish fan. And for the many years before Louisville football continued to increase its profile, a bunch of Notre Dame fans in that Louisville area. Not much to gain here. Everything was shut down for Hawkins. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah leads the crew in blue as this first quarter comes to an end.
Mike, you mentioned Owusu-Koramoah, and he's a rover. He plays all over the field, but we're going to see him more like a linebacker today to deal with this Louisville running game.
And we have hit the end of the first here in South Bend. Notre Dame 6, Louisville nothing. Second quarter coming up in just a moment. Glad you're with us on this Saturday. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. Presented by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Grotto of Our Lady of Lourdes. It's one of the famous spots so many folks come and visit on campus.
Grotto right in there.
That's it, right down there. Right. Tony, I went over there this morning.
I heard you were there. My scouts told me.
Yeah, I was. Light a candle, spend a moment. And Erica and Dusty were getting engaged when we showed up. So congratulations to them. His first down pass, second down pass, I should say, is complete to Isaac Martin, the tight end. Not every day you kind of walk up on an engagement, but way to go, Erica and Dusty. And Notre Dame alum proposed to there earlier today.
Good job by the Louisville offense there. Notre Dame brought the blitz. They picked it up, got a completion, and avoided that negative play we're talking about. Now you're in a manageable third down. And third down's Tutu Atwell, number 1. The guy to keep an eye on. Notre Dame's defense knows that as well.
First time in a couple of games, Myron Tagovailoa-Amosa has checked in for the Irish, unavailable last week. 3rd and 7, pressure coming, picked up, Cunningham, time, throw is caught. Wow, a lot of folks coming right to the ball all at once, and Tutu Atwell comes away with it at the Notre Dame 41.
Incredible. He goes in motion to define the coverage. It's zone coverage. Nobody goes with him man-to-man. Now he's just going to come on a wheel route up the sideline, and that is great concentration to stay on that ball in the midst of double coverage. Bracey and Sean Crawford can't make the play.
Good live 28-yard grab, and it is. They had stopped the game for just a moment, but now the clock winding.
Mike Atwell is from Miami. I've heard about this guy my whole life almost. He's like a legend down there, making plays like that in high school.
No gain on this run to the right for Hawkins. You mentioned a great high school tradition, and talk about Louisville and big name players in the high school tradition of Miami Northwestern. That's the high school that gave us Teddy Bridgewater. Of course, went to start Louisville, and Tutu was a quarterback in high school.
He was, and it was like the second coming of Lamar Jackson. Throw 5 or 6 touchdown passes, run for 200 yards. He was unstoppable in high school.
He's got 18 career touchdowns. A lot of folks are excited about him. First team all-league here in the ACC last year. Here's Tutu on the run, on the reverse. Sean Crawford comes all the way across the field. Makes a terrific play for a loss of 4 yards.
Well played, well diagnosed. He has great speed, but Notre Dame running him to the sideline and attacking. This is what Clark Lee wanted them to do. Not react, not read, but just be aggressive and attack the football.
There's Clark, the Irish defensive coordinator. Tony, a first quarter like we just saw here, that's got to make you feel a little bit uneasy, I would imagine.
It really did. When I was coaching, when you dominated like that, it was only 6-0. You're wondering if we can continue to play that well. And on the other side of the coin, Louisville's got to say, hey, you know what? We're in this game.
Scott Satterfield knows that. Got a big play, got to the 45. Timeout before 3rd and long.
Want to stay up to date? Just tell Siri, show me college football scores.
And you see some of those scores and you go, oh, wow, for the other big team in the Commonwealth. Kentucky won at Tennessee today, 34-7.
That's a big win.
Yeah. Of course, we're so used to seeing Kentucky and Louisville play towards the end of the year. They will not this year with all the scheduling. This could be 4-down territory, Tony thinks. 3rd and 14 as Cunningham throws complete. Try to get a lot of it with Atwell, but he doesn't. He only gets a couple here to the 43-yard line. Marked down. Atwell thought he bounced back up, but it's marked down and 4th down.
And you're exactly right, Mike. That's what they were trying to do. Just come up with 8 or 9 yards, get to a manageable 4th down. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah read it perfectly, and the speed to go out and make that play.
I'm sorry, Tony. We also have a flag down right around there. Atwell's elbow clearly comes down.
Holding. Offense number 7. The penalties decline. 4th down.
So Brian Kelly declines it, and Scott Satterfield with 4th and 12 is going to send his punt unit out.
And that's a good decision. Try to punt them down in there, pin them inside the 10-yard line, let your defense go to work, see if you can create some field position.
Just a couple of possessions here for the Cards with 3 minutes gone by in the 2nd quarter. Brian Harwell took over the punting last game against Georgia Tech. Logan Lupo had punted the first few games. This one end over end. Matt Salerno going out there, and he's very comfortable catching the ball. Wind, people, end over end. He went to grab it. Fair caught, and the Irish will take over for their 3rd possession, their own 16. Brian Kelly says you talk about and search for an identity. That's the Notre Dame identity. Those 5 guys up front, they do such a good job. Rare that you see a college team with that many combined starts. But they've all been here. They followed a legacy, and they're adding on to it. Coming into today, they had not allowed a sack of the quarterback. There's been a lot of pressure from Louisville today. Pro Football Focus numbers pointing that out. And the rushing attack, 4th per rush, 5th in the country in rush yards per game. And Tony, as a coach, when you watch these guys on tape, what makes them so good?
Well, it's individual talent, but it's continuity. They work together so well. You can tell they played a lot of games together.
They start from the 26-yard line. The tight end's a big part of that rushing attack as well. 2 to the left, the hand, and Williams is brought down quickly. Good penetration one more time by Louisville. It's a loss of a yard or so. So the Cardinals defense has come up very strong. Nick Okeke with that stop for Louisville.
Yes, but a lot of it starts with their nose man and their 3 down linemen. They're trying to occupy more than one blocker and free up those linebackers. And Tommy Tremble got beat inside by Okeke that time. Very rarely do you see that.
Malik Clark in there on the nose. They double teamed him that time, but still the linebackers come through, and Dorian Etheridge, and no room to run. It'll be 3rd down.
And this is exactly what Louisville wants to do. Take care of that running game, attack with those linebackers, and create a 3rd and long. See what they dial up this time. Last time in the red zone, it was 3-man rush with a spy on Ian Book. We'll see how they cover it this time.
And Louisville's defensive front has not looked good in the last couple of games. So this is a bit of a surprise what we've seen here. And credit Louisville for coming to play here in this first half.
They're showing blitz here. I don't think they're going to come.
Third and 9.
No, they are coming.
Bring everybody, and they get to him. It's Montgomery again. So Monty Montgomery, who had 5.5 sacks last year, adds to it, and Brian Brown, the defensive coordinator, calling a really good first half for the Cards.
2 linebackers lined up in the gap, but they're not going to come directly. They're going to loop around here, and they played straight man coverage. Well designed linebackers making the big plays for them. Montgomery, Etheridge, they've been the big play guys, and they're showing it again today.
Nice work up front. Bramlett with the kick for the Irish into the wind. Fair catch signal and made, 43-yarder. And Rajay Burns will give Louisville very good field position. Full
Exactly
credit.
what they wanted to do.
Yeah, full credit. Scott Satterfield's defense much better than they were against Georgia Tech last week or Miami earlier this year, making it a game in the first half. That's Scott Satterfield. He inherited just a mess when this Louisville team was 2-10 1 year after Lamar Jackson left. So Bobby Petrino out. A lot of folks thought that Jeff Brom, a Louisville high school legend, a Louisville college legend, would be the head coach because he's done a good job at Purdue. But he chose to stay at Purdue. They had to go to the next choice. Satterfield might be a good choice. Good showing last year. A tough start so far this year, but a good first half for this Cardinals team. And the pass from Cunningham to Isaac Martin is moving down to the 44. The flag at the very end of the play. Louisville's been hurt by some penalties early on here.
They really have, and that's one thing Coach Satterfield told us they wanted to avoid. They had to stay on schedule and not hurt themselves.
Let's see if this one's on the Irish.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 56 for late knockdown. 15-yard penalty, the down counts, second down.
So that's Renato Brown, and he was involved in something last week. First, let's look at what he did this week with the late hit.
Yep. He's coming in, Renato Brown. Play is over. Hit from behind. After the play's over, you just cannot do that. That's exactly what Coach Satterfield said they had to avoid. Instead of 2nd and 3, now you're at 2nd and 17, 18. Put Notre Dame in position where now they can take charge with a substituted defense.
2nd and long. Here's the run with Hawkins to the left. Trying to twist out of there. Could not do it. Nowhere to go. It'll be brought down by Jeremiah Wusu-Koromoa. As I mentioned, Brown, the right tackle, was flagged there for the late hit. Last week, there was a Georgia Tech player who lost a shoe. Brown was well behind the plate, kicked that shoe to the sideline. He was called for a 50-yard flag, and you saw on film, Brown came out the next play.
They took him out for about 20 plays. Coach Satterfield said, this is not what we're going to have. This is not what we're going to be about, and that impressed me.
And goes to the point of what he was trying. He's trying to clean up the way the culture had fallen apart there a couple of seasons ago. Brown stays in this time, facing 3rd and 21. Irish rush forward, pressure almost gets there. It's swung out. Hawkins got a lot of real estate to catch up. Going to get some of it back, but it'll be 8 short of the first down at the 49-yard line.
And as tempting as this is, I think you have to punt the ball again, try to play this same way. Punt it down there, let your defense hold them in there, see if you can get good field position again. I know Coach Satterfield told us, hey, we've got to get points. We're going to have to take chances, but this is not the time to do it.
The defense has done the job so far. The offense has been limited. 3 drives, 2 first downs.
And penalties.
That's right. One more time to kick it away for Harwell. Salerno's going to let it go, and they'll be able to kill this inside the 5. Down at the 4, 45 yards, and well done by the junior who was at Tyler Junior College down in Texas, Ryan Harwell. Now the #1 punter for Louisville. The Wizarding World awaits all October. The Harry Potter film series is going to be available to stream for free exclusively on Peacock, the streaming service from NBC Universal. Don't miss a moment of the magic. Sign up peacocktv.com to stream now. Mike Tirico, Tony Dungy, Catherine Tappan on the sideline. Jack Collinsworth will be with you at halftime. Bit of a surprise. Notre Dame held out of the end zone 6-0 against Louisville. Trying to run, and that's been the story so far. The run game has been shut down by the Cards up front. Kyron Williams limited to a gain of 2.
They really have done a good job defensively. And I thought coming in, Mike, we'd have a tight game, but I thought it would be up and down, high scoring. Louisville's offense would be holding the fort, but it's really been their defense. Little bend but don't break early, but they have found their sea legs, and they are tackling well and attacking the line of scrimmage against this run game.
halfway through the second and 8. 4-man rush. Book has to get out of there again. He's going to dive forward. Well, Markham just past the 10. It'll set up 3rd and about 4. But that pressure from a variety of people is doing a job against this vaunted Notre Dame offensive front.
No, they are, and they're getting good coverage. They're making Ian Book hold the ball. We had good pressure inside from goal wire, forcing Ian Book out of the pocket.
Robert Hicks on the stop there. Here's 3rd and 4. 33, beg your pardon. Pressure comes, it's picked up. Book saw something underneath, sees a lot of green grass the other way, gets the first down to the 30-yard line. Good decision on a 19-yard scramble by Ian Book for the first down.
Man-to-man, 4-man rush, though, and you're going to see the tackles come outside and just open up this space. There's great coverage back there, but if you're going to do that, you need a spy on Ian Book. But you have to be impressed with this Louisville secondary. There have not been open receivers.
Irish tries to spin the receiver dial, find somebody to get free. Joe Wilkins Jr., who's the subject of our halftime features, over on the 0 to the left there at the 30-yard line. Officially, it was a gain of 20 for Book. And on first down, they're running inside. Williams pops it to the outside. He'll gain a first down as he takes it to the 41.
And that was that big counter play that we saw so effective last week. You come back with it, Tommy Tremble being the lead blocker for Kyron Williams. Tremble's going to come back across, lead, and you get the action starting to the right, coming back to the left.
Jack Fagot was waiting and just got crushed as he was trying to watch the outside. Good news is I set an edge for you. Bad news is I took a shot. Man.
Watch here, we've got linebacker pressure coming now. They're going to check out of it, I think. Notre Dame saw it, they check. Louisville checks their defense. This is a chess match.
Yelling to the screen on the other side. Book design keep. Breaks through that first tackle by Montgomery, but he eventually pulls him down at the 47. 3rd and 4 coming up.
And again, this is something that Notre Dame is not used to. This straight 3-man rush, and you're going to see start the double team. Nice hole, power running. This is what they need to do. Move that nose man. Give center Patterson, Jared Patterson, some help to get started on these inside runs.
2nd and 4 for the Irish. 3 receivers to the right again. Trying to establish something of consistency. He'll try Williams. Got his opening there. Almost pulled down by Montgomery. Couldn't bring him down. And Tony, that is what you've been saying about Kyron Williams, the 5'9", 195-pound sophomore. Always finishes runs.
I am so impressed with his leg strength. You see him run out of tackles, fall forward, break tackles that are arm tackles. And this was a great run that there wasn't a lot of hole there. But he hits it and he falls forward. First down.
Snap 35 for Notre Dame. Only 13 for Louisville on offense so far. Back to the ground. Tyree, the freshman that time, has stopped. Monty Montgomery's having an excellent first half. The junior out of Norcross, Georgia.
He really is. And this looked like it was going to break. Power, pulling guard, had a nice kick out. Montgomery fills the hole. He's going to be the backside backer and come fill this. Well done, well played. And C.J. Avery, their outstanding linebacker, told us the linebackers are going to have to be big if they're going to win this game.
Quick count, screen, Tyree up the numbers. First down to the 31-yard line. That look a couple of plays ago, the Louisville sideline was screaming that the screen was coming. It came there, and the Irish moved the chain.
Good call by Tommy Reese. You see those linebackers flowing so fast. Start the action one way, come back with the screen the other way.
First year as the offensive coordinator, Tommy Reese. He told us this week that Ian Book, his numbers weren't the best he's had, but he was in the most control he's ever seen him play with. He was so comfortable with what Reese was calling last week. It's time spent together for 3-4 years. Run here with Tyree. Getting a good job in the middle of this series to the 26-yard line.
And Notre Dame may have to stay with this. I know Coach Kelly wanted to get that passing game going and get some of these young receivers going, but now they're pounding the ball, getting these 5-6 yard runs. May have to just stay with this and mash Louisville for a while.
Has this been a running clock in this half? I mean, we've played in over an hour and 5 minutes, almost an entire half of football. It's going so fast. Book underneath. It's Mayer, the freshman tight end, through a tackle, over another one to the 13-yard line. This dude's a freak. Wow.
He is. This is a 3-wide receiver set, and this is a play for Michael Mayer all the way. They're just going to clear out on the other side. He runs the shallow cross, and this is rare athleticism from the big man. Stiff arm, hurdle, just show all the skills. This is really incredible.
Looks like an American Ninja Warrior course. Like, okay, first stiff arm him, then leap him, then go forward after the catch. Just a freshman and just a wow. From the 14th, here is Book. Looking end zone, everything covered. Trying to create something, keep the play alive. The journey is over. The loss back to the 17-yard line.
Once again, Mike, we've got to take our hat off to this Louisville secondary. They're playing, rushing 3 and 4 guys, and they're covering. Avery Davis is covered here. Skoranek, a little hole, but really covered on that side. Switch it off there. There is no place to go with the ball, and Ian Book is looking. Now you've got to stay alive on defense, which they do. Well done.
Notre Dame takes timeout. We're down to 1:37 in the first half. State Farm halftime report coming up. Joe Wilkins carries the junior on his name with great pride. You'll see why. Jack Collinsworth has the feature at halftime. Also highlights from around all of college football. And Tony and I will look at what's happened this first half. How important is this last minute and a half here, Tony?
This is really huge for the Louisville defense. They're about to defend their 40th play, but if they can hold them to a field goal here and just give up 9 points with this onslaught, they'll feel tremendous.
3 to the left on 2nd and 13 for Book. Design run, quarterback draw. Ian Book will get hit at the 13-yard line. Clock will keep spinning inside of 90 seconds. 3rd down coming up. Book took a big shot there.
Again, really good job. Okiki coming in, folding back in on that. Setting up a 3rd and long again. If they can hold them to a field goal, this would be so big mentally and emotionally for Louisville going in at half.
Irish can get a first down at the 4-yard line. Book scanning, throwing, end zone. Austin, did he get it in time? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Kevin Austin. It will be very close and require a deep dive on the replay, but for the moment, a touchdown.
It really depends on where that left foot is.
Take that back and take some looks. Of course, Terry McCauley is with us back in our studio as they begin the review process. Terry, I'll bring you in here. Let's start looking. When do we start looking for the foot?
Well, he gets control with both feet in the air, so we're looking where that left foot comes down, Mike. It looks to me, it's indisputable right here that it's out of bounds.
So that contact with the hands in the football, Terry, we're talking about the control.
He gets control.
Not touching the hand, right?
Correct. Just control, but his both feet are in the air, so that foot has to come down in bounds for it to be a catch, and it appears to me that it's on the white.
It's one of those where you freeze it and you start to look at it once he gets a 2-hand grasp on that. And that's from that point on, a pretty easy call.
Did you say that's indisputable visual evidence,
Terry?
Absolutely, Coach. I have indisputable. Usually you need it down the line, but I see a lot of that black stuff come up from the white when that foot hits.
Those crumbs of a rubber tire pellets that are at the bottom of the field gives you that drag. It's a nice route run by Austin.
very good route, good ball. Just couldn't get that foot down quick enough.
So Jonathan Dorr, the field goal kicker, is out there, so the Irish have a good sense of.
Well, no, he's out there kicking the extra point.
Oh, is that it? Is that what he's out there for?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Good justification. I like that.
No, they're thinking positive, but this one's going to come back.
And if it does, Tony, and the Irish go for the field goal, again, like you said, Louisville is going to feel great going into the locker room.
And if you're Notre Dame, even though you're ahead, you're frustrated. Hey, we moved the ball, but we haven't been great in the red zone.
After further review, the receiver's left foot hits the sideline. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down at the 13-yard line. The clock will start on the snap.
Mike Roach with the call there.
Yeah.
Finish your point.
Yeah, that you wanted to come in, and Coach Kelly talked about the standard and just being great for 60 minutes. They've done a lot of things well, but their red zone offense has not been great today. Or we should say Louisville's red zone defense has.
Well, they haven't shown us that thus far this year. So Dorr's got 30 and 32. We'll try one in between, and with the twisting wind as well. It's a fake, and Bramlett's going to run. He got a first down on a fake earlier this year, but getting pushed by Eichenberg is nowhere near the first down marker, a yard and a half ahead, and Louisville will feel even better going into the locker room.
And what that tells me is Notre Dame is not happy with the way their red zone offense is going. They're looking for a spark. We saw this against Duke when the offense was struggling a little bit. Fake punt got it going. Louisville was ready for it. We'll see how this changes or if it does swing the momentum.
There's the fake. Bramlett, high school quarterback, has good running skills, eluded one tackle. He almost had an opening to the outside, but figured pretty quick my speed wasn't going to get past those two guys on the edge. So turned it up, and Eichenberg almost gave you a little bit of a push.
That's a long ways to go for a fake to be effective. They must have felt they saw something, but I really think they feel like they need some kind of spark, some kind of juice.
Yeah, it was 4th and 9. On that play, so they don't get it. Louisville will get the ball to start the second half. They've got 2 timeouts at 43 seconds at the back end of this half. Cunningham will just give to try to see if Hawkins can do anything. He cannot, and timeout's going to be taken here by the Irish.
Notre Dame's going to use their timeouts and try to force a punt here, see if they can get the ball back and maybe score. But I think if I'm Louisville, run this clock out, run it 3 times, maybe make your first down. You get the ball, you'll get it in much better field position to start the second half.
Only 1 timeout, so if Louisville manages the clock properly, they should be able to take care of business here. So I know you're surprised. I think most people will look at this score and be surprised. What surprises you the most?
I think Louisville's defense just bowing up and how they've been able to not dominate in the run game, but be okay. Coach Brian Brown, their defensive coordinator, told us that we've got to stop the run and we've got to survive the pass. We'll live with some pass chunks, but they've done as good a job as anybody we've seen on Notre Dame's run game so far.
And I think Notre Dame would probably be concerned on the offensive side, because if you watch Georgia Tech, Louisville's last game, or Miami, they moved the ball at will. Not just the points, they were moving the ball, and the Irish have looked stagnant here on offense.
They have, and I think they came in with a plan. They wanted to feature these wide receivers. They wanted to get some throws. I think in the second half you'll see Coach Kelly, let's go back to who we are. Let's run the ball and feature that.
Dominant time possession. Notre Dame's defense has done a good job to this point. The left side run with Hawkins on the move past the 20. Hamilton brings him down around the 35. Just ran out of real estate down the sideline, but you see the speed that Javian Hawkins, the sophomore from Florida, can bring.
We saw him do this last week on a 3rd and 18 play where they just handed it to him and he ran through the whole team. He has speed, he has acceleration. He can make these type of runs.
Now Louisville's thinking, can they pick up 30 yards and try a long field goal before the half or more? Cunningham on the roll, nobody's with him, and he'll bench it, throw it away. Got knocked down over there on that sideline as he was coming over. 25 left.
But now Coach Satterfield is saying, how can I dial up a chunk play? I need about 20 yards here and then maybe one more play. So we'll see what they have in their arsenal, some kind of misdirection to create a big 20-yard play.
I always find this an interesting spot where you were just running out the half. Now you got a chunk, but now what do I do? Like, there's a little bit stuck in between right now.
Yeah, because you weren't thinking of trying to score until a few seconds ago, really.
Braden Smith has come in the game. See if Louisville can take a shot down the field. Everything covered. Cunningham taking off. He'll get right to the first down line at the 45, and he's got it. He's down there. The clock is stopped with a timeout to move the chains. 17 seconds left. Timeout taken on the sideline. Back in 30 seconds. Cards on the move. So now the plotting and the field goal. Tony, we mentioned at the start of the game the wind 20 miles an hour is coming right to left. Right? But it swirls because of that big scoreboard. So look at the ribbons. The ribbons look like it's going to be a kick with the wind helping you. But look at the flag. It goes the other way.
It's crazy. And we did see the Louisville kicking this way in pregame and making them from 52. So they need about 20 yards here. And they have gotten them in a lot of ways as you watch their tape. Quarterback draws, bubble screens. There's ways that they can put the ball in guys' hands and pick this up other than a deep throw.
First down, a timeout, 17 seconds. Cunningham throws. It is complete to the 44-yard line as Des Fitzpatrick has that.
Get up, go again, and try to get one more play.
Get the clock stopped to move the chains. You can also kill it here. They choose to kill it quickly with 9 seconds remaining in the first half.
So now you've got a chance to run one play, pick up 7 or 8 yards, quick timeout, and get your field goal.
And the long field goal for Turner this year is 40 yards, but he's only attempted 4 field goals in his career. He's out of Saline, Michigan.
Right by your area, your hometown area.
As a suburb of Ann Arbor, if you will. So he's not too far from home, and knows he may get a shot here back in the Midwest to kick a big field goal before halftime. 9 seconds and a timeout left. Malik Cunningham will throw high, but brought in again by Fitzpatrick. They'll kill the clock. A sensational job.
Exactly what they needed.
To set them up in position for, if they choose to go for the field goal attempt here, a 51-yarder or one shot at the end zone.
And we saw them make these in warm-ups from 52 going this direction.
Nice job by Fitzpatrick, 6'2". He's also a Michigan kid, Farmington Hills, Michigan. Huge catch radius on that 6'2" receiver.
He utilized it right there. You'd like to see that ball thrown a little lower, but he went up and got it. And I think you kick your field goal here.
Clark Lee's upstairs, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, and that's one of those. You had him back the 10-yard line. You thought you'd be in good shape, and now these 3 chunk plays have moved in field goal range.
And you called it, Mike. Coach Kelly called a timeout, trying to get the ball back. Hawkins breaks the long run, and it changed everything around.
All right, so James Turner's going to come on, walk on. He lined up for a 53-yarder last week in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. A delay game penalty killed that. Wind issues. Notre Dame has a timeout. They choose to make him think about it. Ryan Harwell holds it from 52. Turner bangs it. Oh, Josh!
Did he hit the post?
I think it grazed the bottom there at the end. Gave it everything he could. So one team goes in with the lead, and the other team goes in feeling good. Strange game. Here's that look, Tony, as it just grazed the bottom of the crossbar from 52. Surprising score here in South Bend. Louisville that close to cutting the lead in half, but they trail Notre Dame 6-0. State Farm halftime report with Jack Collinsworth coming up. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC, brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar. All right, back here in South Bend, Jack got you updated on all the scores and the highlights and all those big numbers. And here it's 6-0. We actually had a half in college football with no touchdowns, but it certainly is a score that'll catch the eyes of folks around the country. Surprised that Notre Dame has been held in check, especially because, Tony, Louisville came in this game without Marlon Character. He's their starting corner. He was out for the first half for a targeting foul from last Friday, and their secondary played really well.
They really did. Without your best player, a lot falls on the other guys to pick up the slack, and they did. They covered well all the first half, and they had to get some confidence.
Let's take a look at that. Jersey Mike's a sub above, and this really are subs who played above for Louisville.
Yes, you'll see starting out trying to come down the middle, and Russ Geese makes a play on the tight end, and now it's Cottrell Clark, and then man-to-man coverage in the red zone by Chandler Jones. They were all over the Notre Dame receivers, and we thought this might be a weak spot, but it ended up being the strength. They covered well.
Some starters, some a sub above. Now in the second half, where do you think Notre Dame will go offensively to try to get back in gear and get back in this game?
I think they really came out with the idea, we want to get our passing game going. Coach Kelly told us they wanted to get the ball to some of these young wide receivers. I think they have to get back to their identity. Let's pound the football. Let's run the ball and use our pass as a complement to our running game. Get that run game going in the second half. Now on the other side, Louisville, they've got to have confidence. You always tell your team, hey, we can win, we can beat these guys, and I'm sure they felt like they could, but now 6-0, those guys are in that locker room saying, you know what, we can win this game. Oh, we hurt ourselves with penalties in the first half. If we play our game, we'll get one score here, we're in the lead.
Real belief. Third quarter coming up, 6-0 Notre Dame on top of Louisville. As we go to break, throughout the season, of course, we look at the ways Notre Dame students and professors meet the needs of today's world. Today, we're going to learn how Notre Dame's research is helping people on the brink of homelessness. Notre Dame has won 21 consecutive home games, a struggle in the first half, leading Louisville 6-0. As the teams come back out for the second half, we go down to the sideline, and Catherine's happy.
Like Brian Kelly told me at halftime that it's not about the adjustments that the team needs to make in the red zone on offense. It's about execution. He said we did not take advantage of some of the big opportunities that we had. He thought the run-pass ratio and the balance was pretty good in the first half. As for the Cardinals, Scott Satterfield told me, we got a ball game here. The defense has been huge for us, but that's been a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing is they're on the field way too long. We've got to get the offense going and get some points on the board, Mike.
Yeah, Catherine, that offense had 119 yards. 60 came on that last drive, Tony. Maybe that got them into a rhythm. They get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, and they hurt themselves with penalties in the first half. And Coach Satterfield told us that we have to stay on schedule. They had a couple of drives that would have been promising that they self-destructed on. So I think his message is, hey, let's do what we do. We've got some plays that we can hit. Let's just make sure we keep our poise.
To Catherine's point, the Irish got the ball down to the 14, the 12, and the 6, and only 6 points to show for it. Here you see the two coaches, they're messaging to their teams. Louisville has lost 3 in a row. Remember, Scott Satterfield was on that Appalachian State staff when they upset Michigan in the Big House. So he knows what a big upset's all about. Jordan Watkins, the receiver, going to bring this one back. But he brought down around the 17-yard line. And that is where this Louisville offense will take over.
I think the offense just has to be patient, not try to do too much, continue to run the ball, and get your shot plays off the running game.
Javian Hawkins, the running back, you saw a little bit at the end of the half. Some of the big plays he can make. Malik Cunningham, not many deep shots down the field, as we've seen in other games this year. Cunningham looking, throwing complete on that far side to Tutu Atwell. Here's the top target. And Atwell's gain will take him out to the 23.
The other guy, Mike, I think they've got to get involved in this Louisville offense is Marshawn Ford. He's a big playmaker, their H-back. He hasn't gotten the ball yet. Look for him also.
Here's Ford, 83, to the right of the quarterback. 11 receptions, third on the team through 4 games. Hawkins left, got out of a tackle, gets the first down. A good speed to the edge by Hawkins, who moved the chains for the Cards.
Kyle Hamilton went inside the block, tried to shoot it and make the play, but Hawkins, he's got a little bit of something we've seen him make a lot of people miss.
That's a quickness and a shiftiness to him that he's tough to get a good target on.
And some strength. He runs a lot like Kyron Williams.
Out of the pistol from the 28. Hawkins again, that time no gaps, no place to go. He tried to spin out. Used his hand to keep the knee from going down, but he's still going to lose about 2 yards. That's the athleticism right there. The fact that knee didn't come down.
Incredible. I was sure that he was down here. You're going to see Notre Dame again attack the line of scrimmage. He hits it, and I'm thinking he's down there, but he is not down.
He was. Well, they should stop the game and replay and take that back a couple of yards because his knee was down. I don't get it. Cunningham on the run. Good run here to the 33-yard line, so he'll get some of that yardage back. It looked like it was a terrific play. You saw in that look that the knee comes down. They tell you that they look at every play. I'm still waiting for confirmation on that.
Well, they gave him effort there. They didn't want to take the effort away from him. But that's a great job by Cunningham, just making something happen, getting it back to a 3rd and medium where they can still have at least the threat of the run here.
What's the deal with this down and distance? It gives you everything. You defend the run, do you defend the pass? What do you do? Irish will be a great 3rd down defense all season. Cunningham throws in the middle, and they're going to pick it up. 1st down at the 41-yard line. It's Braden Smith, the sophomore from Mississippi, will move the chains back-to-back. Cards 1st down.
And Cunningham got hit here on the blitz, but this is a nice route. It's actually excellent coverage, but the ball is delivered well inside, right on target. See how Cunningham is. He got hit on the blitz right after he delivered that ball.
Oh, he got hit down low, too. Yeah. Doubled over. Goes down, handoff, and no running opening again for Hawkins. Drew White right in there for Notre Dame. They are doing the definitive job of closing all the gaps up front.
Clark Lee told us that he didn't want to just be passive going sideline to sideline. He wanted to attack the line of scrimmage. That time he used Kyle Hamilton pressing the line. You see him coming through as a blitzer, attacking the line of scrimmage.
We hear a lot about zone blocking, and that's one way to try to
disrupt it.
Simon and White responsible for the areas, give no holes, no openings, and they're putting on a clinic as it comes to that here, Tony, on this drive. Kirk Heinisch, the senior from Pittsburgh, with the tackle.
This was Dalen Hayes. Watch him here just come inside this block and make the play. He's got the single block. That's well done. Force the ball carrier back into the traffic.
Devade Ogundeji unblocked. Coming down.
Linebackers coming downhill as well. This is where they want the Louisville offense in 3rd and long. Must-throw situations. Now they can pin their ears back and pass rush.
Notre Dame goes 5 DBs. Louisville sends 4 in the pattern. Flush is Cunningham. He's got room. He needs to get across midfield. And it'll be a couple of yards short. Good play, good run by Cunningham to get a lot of it back, but Hamilton and Usu Koromoa, 2 studs out there for Notre Dame, shut it down. They need 3 yards.
And again, as tempting as this is, trust your defense. Punt that ball, try to pin Notre Dame back, see if Notre Dame has made any adjustments. They look like they're going for it here, though. They're bringing their big tight ends in.
See, Sean Crawford also came off the coverage with Usu Koromoa, DJ Brown, and Kyle Hamilton. You're right, Tony.
Wouldn't be surprised if this is a play action, Mike. Make it look like a running formation. Go play action and try to take a shot.
That's why it's 4 and 3, and the Irish are back off that line of scrimmage. Cunningham keeping running for the 1st down to the 44-yard line. So a 4th down conversion for Malik Cunningham, the redshirt junior out of Montgomery, Alabama. And this opening half drive stays alive.
Inside blitz. You're going to see all these guys penetrate inside, but the quarterback's going to keep it and get outside. Really good play call against that. Notre Dame loaded up inside. Quarterback run, Malik Cunningham. First down. That's a chance I probably would not have taken, but it paid off for him.
To Hawkins. He'll run to the 41-yard line. White and Howard cross third there on the stop.
Good job on that outside zone. Hawkins, again, reading it, just turning upfield, taking the first daylight he sees, trying to get the 4- and 5-yard runs. Stay on schedule.
It's the opening drive of the third quarter. Those of you who are looking around at other games and see this score and come check it out, the Cardinals have done a better job offensively their last 2 drives. Malik Cunningham has a chance to get it to Marshawn Ford, his tight end, first down to the 30-yard line. Sensational mix of play calling on this drive. Jack Kaiser the tackle. First down, Louisville.
Yeah, you get that inside run going. Notre Dame playing the box and then just fake it, dump it out. And this is Ford coming back across, away from the action. They've got Notre Dame a little bit off balance now. Quarterback runs, inside run, naked boot. Really good play calling this series.
Play action time, wheeling out of the backfield. He's free. He's open. It's a touchdown for Hawkins. Let's see. No, he's down at the 1. Just down at the 1. I think that's the right call, too.
Great play call, though.
Sensational. Javian Hawkins sneaking out, getting it to the goal line.
I love the way they set this up. Inside run, then naked boot, then looks like naked boot to the right, but throw back to the left to the faking back. This is tough coverage and just a well-designed play.
It's a good call. The knee comes down as he makes the catch there. Just shy of it. Tried to keep his balance to spin into the end zone. But first and goal with a chance to take the lead with a touchdown and an extra point. Hawkins is the back. Cunningham's going to throw it. And Marshawn Ford into the end zone for a Louisville touchdown.
This is another well-designed play, Mike. They shift to an unbalanced line, make you think they're going to run that way to the unbalanced, fake it. See, they've got all their extra people over here, fake it, but out the backside again, Marshawn Ford. We wondered when he was going to get involved. He got involved in that drive.
Really solid play calling on that drive, utilizing a lot of their key players, except for Atwell, the most explosive player. Extra point is added, and the Louisville Cardinals, halfway through the quarter, have taken the lead in South Bend. Career touchdown number 11. This guy was a walk-on out of Ballard High School in Louisville. He's got a scholarship. He's got a touchdown in South Bend. It's given his team the lead. Marshawn Ford led all ACC tight ends with 7 touchdown receptions last year. His 4th of this year, Catherine Tappan, has put Louisville on top.
Yes, and Ford grew up in Louisville, a diehard Cardinals fan. He told me when he had the chance to attend Louisville as a preferred walk-on, he took it. He said, I bet on myself. I knew I could compete at that level. Well, Coach Satterfield did as well, awarding Ford a scholarship prior to last season. And Ford told me the first person he called was his mom, Tanisha. He told her that she didn't have to pay for school anymore, and she broke down in tears. Mom is here, as well as his uncle and his cousin, and his dad is proudly watching him from home today, Mike.
Mom's phone is blowing up. They saw her son catch a touchdown.
I bet.
Now Mom's on TV, and you just ring up all those messages. They're going to flood in right now. You know, we talked to Scott Satterfield, as Catherine mentioned, about Ford. They didn't really know this kid when this new staff got there, and they said he just kind of shows up, go to work, stay humble.
Every day, they said.
That work paying off. Onside kick attempt, and Louisville has recovered. So Louisville with the lead and momentum pushes the chips into the middle of the table, doubles down, and takes the big stack to their side. Smith with the recovery.
And this goes back to what Coach Satterfield said. We're not going to be able to outslug Notre Dame. We're going to have to outscore them. We're going to have to take some chances. Didn't know he would take chances on the special teams, though.
Yep. I don't believe it hit a foot. Looks like it went 10 yards in the space for Braden Smith to fall on it and recover it. The middle dribble.
That play is under further review.
You know, we'll bring in Terry McCauley as we look at this onside kick from the 35. So Terry's got to go to 10 before they can touch it. And the question comes right there on that middle dribble kick. Did it hit a Louisville leg? First look and second look, I didn't think so. What do you think here?
Well, let's see. Boy, it looks like it's right at the line on that one. As long as the nose of the ball gets to that 10-yard mark to the 45, he can legally recover. Here we go. Let's do this shot.
It's the same deal like the ball touching the goal line, right? Like breaking the plane.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we lose it.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything definitive where you can see that it definitely did hit someone.
I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's good. This is the best angle, I think, to see as the kicker goes in with the contact right around there. That ball stays in shot the whole time.
That's well executed. Well executed.
You know, we always talk about the guys who recover in the blockers. Brock Travelstead, the freshman kicker, a terrific job on the middle dribble.
And you can see Louisville, how excited they are. And you can almost feel that at halftime, Mike, after the fake field goal didn't work. And it's 6-0 at half. Louisville's going in feeling like, you know what, we didn't know if we could win this game, but we can win this game.
And let me double back to a few things. What did I say right before kickoff? There's only 10,000 people in here. It felt flat before the game. Notre Dame drove a bunch field goal, drive a bunch field goal. They try to inject some energy in with the fake field goal. It doesn't happen. Even though Louisville didn't score at the end of the first half, Tony, they felt much better going in the locker room at 6-0 that way.
And that drive, they got some things going, moved the football, and you could just sense the confidence as they were running into the locker room.
And then you come down the field. I mentioned earlier Scott Satterfield was the QB coach at Appalachian State as an FCS team when they went to the Big House and beat Michigan. So he's been around those types of games and knows that momentum. Look, Louisville was a good team last year. This is not an upset on that level if they can pull it off. But they were
after
double-digit
further
dogs
review,
today.
number 23 of the receiving team illegally blocked a receiving team member before the ball went 10 yards. It's a 5-yard penalty. It will be enforced and the ball will be re-kicked.
Terry, I know you can look at stuff like touching the ball, how far the ball traveled, but the illegal block is something that's very unique to an onside kick.
Absolutely, Mike, and this is a reviewable play. This was added several years ago because it's so difficult to catch that on the field, that illegal block. But this is really a great job by replay picking this up.
But Terry, is that he's right at the 10-yard mark.
But you can't block. You can't block before the ball goes 10 yards, even if the block is. Even if the block is.
That's an excellent call then.
Absolutely, this is a terrific job by replay picking this up.
So let's give Bob Welch, the replay official, credit for being a part of that, Terry.
Absolutely. Now, normally it's difficult because players are blocking each other, so who's blocking who? But that's clearly not the case. 31 for Notre Dame is going after the football, and the Louisville player clearly blocks him away from it. So this, like I said, this was a terrific job by instant replay to pick up this foul.
Wow. Terry, do you like that being a part of the rule? Because that's the one line touching the ball type thing that replay can jump in and do. That's not like a 15-yard penalty for targeting, or in the NFL, the unsportsmanlike conduct.
It is unusual, Mike, but it's so difficult to see live. I think I'm okay with it being a reviewable play.
That's interesting. Thanks, Terry. That's why you're here. We appreciate it, man. Tyree, the return back to the 35-yard line. Tony, let's get back to the football. And when Louisville's defense has been on the field, you told us 90, Jared Goldwire was good. What have you seen so far?
He has first-round ability, and we're going to see him. Coach Kelly said we're going to have to double-team him if we want to be effective. They double-teamed him run and pass. Here he's just kind of spying the quarterback, coming off, taking care of the quarterback scramble, and one-on-one, he's tough to handle. So now you've got to get the double team, but that frees up the backside linebackers.
All right, Irish will start this drive from the 34-yard line, trailing by 1. First run, Kyron Williams with space, and Williams gets a dozen yards for the first down. So Brian Kelly's coached 360-plus games. What do you do as a veteran head coach when your sideline's got to be tight right now?
Well, you come back to what goes well for you and what works for you. We see that counter play again with Tommy Tremble lead blocking. Get back to your identity, and I think they're going to be fine. Notre
Dame possession of this second half. Williams to midfield. Gold wire off the nose.
Get the ball in Kyron Williams' hands. Let's run it. Let's establish some things.
We spoke to Williams this week, young man from the St. Louis area. When he was a kid, you know, you asked for gifts for Christmas. He asked for a trip to Notre Dame's football camp. He fell in love with the Irish, watching them, that Amazon series that they had on behind the scenes at Notre Dame for the season. So this is what he dreamed of. He was growing up in the Missouri area to be right here where he is. Book, protected, checks down, Williams, right at the marker. It's going to be close to the first down at the 44-yard line. So Mom did what she could, and Kyron Williams got the Christmas gift. Come to Notre Dame football camp, and he opened eyes, wowed folks, met Brian Kelly, slapped the sign, all in, and here's Mom. Regular basis, all green and gold and all that good stuff. It's a pretty cool story. See a dream come true.
Kyron and Coach Kelly looked a little younger then. Right?
Yeah. He's reaching over there at his knee as he took a shot on the side there. So he will check out, and the freshman Chris Tyree will come in.
Three tight ends back in. See if we pound the ball here.
Short lead to McKinley coming around, and Javon McKinley, who has really shown up in this offense out of nowhere. First down as he comes around on the jet sweep.
Yeah, and that's really good play call. You bring the three tight ends in thinking we're going to run and pound it inside, but Tommy Tremble with a nice seal block and the good speed by McKinley to get outside. And then he's finishing the run like a running back.
It's contagious, right? It is. 100-yard receiving game, 107 against the Seminoles in here last Saturday night.
Here goes the chess match again. Louisville shows something on defense. Notre Dame adjusts.
And book hands to the freshman, and Tyree's out the hole. Inside the 20 to the 15 for Chris Tyree. A gain of 15. Notre Dame moving it down the field effectively, trying to respond.
Yep. Going to the right side. Brock Wright, Robert Hainsley. We're just going to get good zone blocking here. Man on man.
The sidelines looking for a flag on that edge block.
This is where Notre Dame has gone to the passing game down here in the red zone. I'd like to see them continue to run it.
Play action, Book with a look and a fire. It is caught and then out. So McKinley incomplete. McKinley had it. The corners did a good job there, and now we've got pushing and shoving at the back end of the play. The Louisville sideline wanted a flag on the Irish, as McKinley never could get complete control. And then it comes down, so that's
and that's Clark again. Another good coverage play from Cottrell Clark.
Straight in look and a good call with that no catch. Clark's the corner who's played a lot. Tyree tries to come back to the other side. He'll only gain 2 yards on that one. Rajay Burns closed it off, and now the Irish are in 3rd and long again. This is the story. They've gotten to the 14, the 12, the 6, and now here they are at the 13. They only have 6 points to show.
Brings up another 3rd and long, and the coverage has been really good down here from the Louisville secondary. See what they dial up and what Notre Dame dials up. Maybe some crossing action against this man-to-man coverage.
First down awaits at the 5. Second set of signals in from the sideline. Play clock running down. Book's got 5 in the pattern. Nothing open. Book scrambles. Who's coming with him? Book's going to take it. Can he get to the 5? Nice. Lower the shoulder. Reach for the pylon. And in for the touchdown. What a run by Ian Book. And the Irish are back on top.
And this is really what Ian Book gives you. When you're covering with 7 guys, mixing it and double coverage, only 4-man rush, he finds the hole, and there's no one else there because the coverage is so tight. Great competitive run, reaching for the pylon. He's in.
Just that hesitation And Chandler Jones was frozen for that brief moment.
But that's the athleticism of Ian Book. They did a great job again in coverage, no one open, and he's able to get it in.
And with the score at 12-7, the Irish will go for 2. Kyron Williams back in the game. Play clock running down as well. And now it's being pumped back up. Play clock being reset.
Got all the one-on-ones out here on the outside. Got a chance to throw the ball out here. 3 one-on-ones. Louisville's trying to load the box and not let them run, but
now Williams joins them out there. They'll come back to the other side. One-on-one. McKinley cannot bring it in. And Keatrell Clark again.
Boy, how big has he been for Louisville's defense? He's been picked on, and he's been up to the challenge.
Sensational guy who started his career at Liberty. Missed the Georgia Tech game with injury. So it's a 5-point lead for Notre Dame. They come down the field and respond with their opening drive of the half, just as Louisville did. A touchdown. This one on the ground with Ian Book. The 2 is denied, and the lead is 5. All right, we are down to the final 8. NASCAR's series playoffs continue right in the heart of America. Who's going to make it to the Final 4? The Championship 4 in Phoenix. Race coverage from Kansas, 2:30 Eastern Time tomorrow here on NBC. There you see the 8, which will be whittled to 4. The champion will be crowned. One of those drivers will be the Cup Series winner for 2020. Hope you join us all the way through till the champion's crown on NBC. Irish lead is now 5. And it will be a touchback. So the Cardinals will take over at the 25 with 3:43 in a very fast-moving game. Third quarter. Coach, we have NASCAR tomorrow afternoon. All sets the table for Sunday Night Football. Rams and 49ers. Aaron Donald, George Kittle, 2 of the best. We'll start you with Football Night in America. Everything that happens in the day in the NFL at 7 Eastern on NBC. Jack Collinsworth has a sensational visit with Aaron Donald off his 4-sack performance against Washington last week. Mike Tirico, Tony Dungy, Catherine Tappan, Terry McCauley, our rules analyst, back in the studio. Jack with us as well. Notre Dame scored on its first drive of the half, just like Louisville did. Now the Cards of Malik Cunningham get back to work. Cunningham got a good block. Shoulder down into Nick McLeod as he takes it to the sideline for a good game.
You know, Louisville was really diverse on their last drive, the touchdown drive. Now they come out again with a design quarterback run off the read option. Fake zone read, but he's coming out with this all the way, trying to get outside, get some good blocking. Nice 8-yard gain. No, 10-yard gain to start the drive.
Yeah, they gave him 8. That's where they marked it. The hit on the end there with McLeod taking him out. Second and 2. Throw to the wide side is complete for the first down. To Atwell on the reception to the 37-yard line. Tony, we made the connection. Of course, you talk NFL as we were a moment ago, and you think of Louisville and quarterbacks. Right away, you think of Lamar Jackson. Comes in a year 2 in the National Football League and becomes the MVP.
They are messed up on the down and distance here. They gave him a first down on that last play when they only made 8 yards.
As they sort that out, you see Malik here with Lamar. That's when he was recruited to Louisville. Lamar was still the quarterback, and they've stayed in touch and made a connection. Let's go back to that because the drive started at the 25, right?
Right.
It was 8 yards to the 33. It should have been 2nd and 2.
Correct. They gave him a first down. That's why I said, was that a 10-yard gain? So that should have been a 2nd and 2 play to create a first down here.
At the 37. Because it was a touchback on the kickoff.
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 51 seconds. 2:51. No sound on my signal. It'll be 2nd down.
No.
Yeah, they have missed it. Terry, is there anything replay can help them with to get it right at this point?
Yes, replay can correct administrative mistakes such as the down, but they've got to catch it before the end of the series. So I do believe they could have fixed this.
Right. So our yard line and down and distance on the field was correct, because remember it started at the 25, but you saw clearly the change moved out to the 35.
So now we are 2nd and 5.
Change now in the right spot. This pass to the edge is complete. It's no gain, and now it's going to be 3rd and 5. As Marshawn Ford, the touchdown earlier, comes up with the grab. So, Tony, going back to the point about Lamar Jackson, we asked Malik about getting to know him, and he said that was a big reason I'm here, because as he was winning the Heisman was when I was being recruited. Yes. That helps when you're trying to recruit a quarterback, right?
Yes, and then you can come in and learn from him while he's still there and be his understudy. That was huge, and he said it was huge. He learned a lot from Lamar about how to lead a team.
And what he's applying right now is, don't worry about the limelight. Just kind of handle what you need to under the radar. Now maybe they were listening to us. Now they've caught it. Now, Terry, what can you do here? Because you've run a couple of plays. Do you still make the change?
You really can't. No, Mike, you really can't anymore because they'd have to go all the way back, and they can't do that. So
Got it.
We're stuck with the mistake at this point.
And it leaves Louisville now in what would have been a 2nd down situation in 3rd and 5. Cunningham keeping, and he will get there for the 1st down. He's tagged right at the 43. So that'll take any issues away and move the chains for a 1st down. Hopefully we'll get that.
Another creative
he's
play
shaking
call.
up here a little bit, Tony. Yep. On that 1st down, he took a hit. He's taken every snap at quarterback for them this year. And after that hit on the side here, he has come limping, going back to the huddle for the moment. Here's the play.
Option off of Wusu Koromoa. He takes the pitch. Cunningham turned it up.
They need to take a timeout or do something here, or an injury timeout. He can barely put weight on it.
Tough to see where it happened.
Hey, now he went down. Yeah, I don't know why they were waiting. I mean, we could all see from here that he was unable to put weight on his leg there.
Timeout on the field for an injured player.
So Cunningham is down. They'll look at him with the athletic training staff. The backup, Evan Connolly, warms quickly. Moment ago, the redshirt junior from Montgomery, Alabama, Malik Cunningham, taken by the athletic training staff. A little bit less of a limp to the tent for further examination here, Tony.
Yeah, and you just see it just right there on that last time his foot was on the ground.
So Evan Connolly comes in, just over 200 snaps. You can see the misconnection with Hawkins right away, and no gain on the play. Connolly played against Boston College and Wake Forest the most of any of the schools he played against last year as a freshman. In high school, he was a 7,000-yard passer, a 4-year starter in Marietta, Georgia, played a high level of good football. They've got the guy who started against Notre Dame last year, Jawan Pass, on the sideline, who is available, but is the number 3 quarterback. We asked the Louisville folks, who's your number 2 right now? They said it's a good question because they've both been good, but it's Connolly for the moment. Irish show pressure and induce a flag.
Snap infraction. Offense to 66. It's a 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Look at 2 things, Tony. You come in right away and you mess up that mesh point with the running back, and then a snap infraction.
Yeah, and that, I don't know if that's the quarterback so much as the offensive line seeing that blitz coming, and the cadence is a little bit off.
Just everything's a little different. There's the pressure shown again and brought. Connolly's going to take a shot downfield, and it is deflected and almost caught. Notre Dame almost had the pick. Des Fitzpatrick almost had the catch. Sean Crawford drifting back to get to the ball.
And it's that same pressure that we've been seeing. Kyle Hamilton coming right up the middle.
It takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Notre Dame leads 12-7. Back after these messages from your local station. Notre Dame football brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar. Breezy Saturday in South Bend. Aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. You see the 10,000 distanced fans on hand. Our score by quarters brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar. Irish 6 in the 1st. Nobody scored in the 2nd. Cardinals and Irish both with touchdowns in the 3rd. So the quarterback Cunningham chugging water, chugging drink, looking like he's trying to deal with cramps. But then his arms started to cramp up and he tried to throw, warming up. Evan Connolly's pass is brought in. What a beautiful athletic play by Javian Hawkins. It's going to be just short of the first down. This is what we saw, Tony, during the break. That arm started to cramp up twice, and that was the second time.
Yeah, and it's just tough to play when you start cramping. So not sure what they're going to be able to do about this.
4th and long coming up, Catherine.
Yeah, Mike, he was in that tent for a little while, Cunningham, but he's warming up right in front of me now. He keeps shaking out his right hand, and the trainer keeps massaging that right wrist, right hand area. So it seems like some significant cramping for Cunningham. They brought him a water bottle and cups of water in the tent. Mike?
All right, Catherine. So Louisville gets the punt away. Salerno tells the rest of his Notre Dame guys to get away. The Irish will take over at the 24 for their second drive of the second half. Notre Dame football is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Together tastes better. By the all-new 10-forward 2020 Lincoln Corsair. And by Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. We were talking about Lamar Jackson a few moments ago, one of the NFL MVP QBs. Both schools representing Unitas, Montana. Of course, Paul Hornung ties on both ends of these teams.
Coach Satterfield told us Lamar Jackson has been a great ambassador for them, along with Teddy Bridgewater, helping them recruit and attracting talent to Louisville.
Crazy that we're a minute into the 4th. This is the 4th drive of this half. 2 per team. Irish scored in their first one. Kyron Williams here starts, Tony, almost like the last drive started, with a gain of 11, running the ball on first down.
And I really think Notre Dame has to get back to this. This is our identity. This is what we do. Feature that offensive line and then use the passing game as a complement.
To emphasize your point, the last drive was an 8-play drive. 6 of them were runs. Just 2 passes, 1 incompletion, and 1 short gain.
And Notre Dame has to know they can dominate up front. They believe that, and they need to get to that.
35 Williams. That time Louisville closing up any opening, still pushes forward for a gain of 3 yards. Notre Dame, it's the 4th game, 3 at home. Really have not played a team that's very good, to be honest, with Duke, South Florida, Florida State. This Louisville team better than the 1-3 record, as Tony said at the top of the broadcast. But the teams that are better are coming up in the next month on the schedule. That's a sensational Rajay Burns play. The outside linebacker came to get Williams behind the line of scrimmage, setting up 3rd and long.
Yeah, he ends up just coming in the back door. He goes around the block. You usually don't see this. You usually think he's going to try to go inside. And he was able to chase it down. Big 3rd and long for this Louisville defense now. Quarterback runs have hurt them. They've covered the receivers, and Ian Book has scrambled for some big first downs. Let's see what they do to try to take care of him.
11 runs, 51 yards to the senior from El Dorado Hills, California. 9, they set up the screen. A lot of Louisville folks are waiting. Chris Tyree won't even get to the 40, and the Irish will go 3 and out.
That's good hustle. Monty Montgomery, he's playing an outstanding game. He's all over the field. He's going to come from the inside out and just chase this down. But they're playing with a lot of energy on that Louisville defense, and we thought this would be the weak spot.
And so the folks around Louisville, but Montgomery, a strong game all the way around. They've been as good as they have been all year. Sir Abdullah, that stop. Jay Bramlett, the high hanger, tough to catch in the wind. A nice job to pull in by Rajay Burns at the 20. 11:47 left in regulation. Tony, looks like Malik Cunningham's going to come back in, and his offense has done a good job. What have they done well today?
Well, offensive coordinator Dwayne Ledford told us everything starts with the outside zone play. The whole line goes one way, but now they have some things off it. This is a naked boot, looks like a naked boot, but it's a throwback. But it starts with getting you flowing with that zone read action. And here again, everything goes to the left. Gets Notre Dame's linebackers thinking left, come back misdirection right. So the running game setting up the pass.
Cunningham with the cramping issue. He's 7 of 7 in the half. Overall, he's hit 9 in a row. His offensive coordinator, Wayne Ledford, done the job with his guys up front here. Jeremiah Wusu-Koromoa with a terrific individual play to keep Javian Hawkins to no gain.
Yeah, they had something going on the front side, but again, Clark Lee told us you're going to see Owusu Koromoa more as a linebacker today. He's going to be in that box, making plays inside, trying to force Louisville to have to throw, to not be able to control the game on the ground.
It was 7 points for Louisville. They have not turned it over. Irish have not come up with a sack. Turnovers have plagued the Cardinals this year. There's a pass in the middle. Ooh, that was dangerous. That almost was picked off. It's incomplete. Nick McLeod was buzzing all over that. They had eyes on an INT.
Yes, this is just going to be an in route. And Nick McLeod is all over this. He plays underneath it. That's great coverage. Really nowhere to go. Incidental contact with their feet, causing the trip, but McLeod was reading this all the way.
Tangled feet is not pass interference. The right hand on his hip, plus that could have given the illusion of that to the official, did not. 3rd and 10. Cunningham, sideline fire, incomplete. There's a flag on McLeod on Des Fitzpatrick.
Nick McLeod wonders what he did wrong, but this is just tight coverage. Balls in the air, so you see just a little bit of grab with that left hand. That's what they call.
Pass interference, defense number 4. Ball be placed to the spot of the foul, automatic, first down.
And that's a good call. Fitzpatrick couldn't get his right hand up to be part of that catch. That is a good call.
They are getting physical too. Fitzpatrick and McLeod.
Big receiver in a tough physical corner.
McLeod, who played at North Carolina State, 18 starts there, 11 last year. Grad transfer to the Irish. He's come in and played a good role at a starting corner. Tariq Gracie on the opposite corner. So it's a first down late on the play clock. The hand to Hawkins to the 32-yard line. We'll give him. There's a flag, though.
Yeah, illegal formation, Mike. They didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage. They got confused in their motion there.
Illegal formation. Offense, 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's a Louisville team that has not been penalized a lot this year. 5.5 per game. That was their 7th.
Yeah, and you can see there's no one covering this tackle. Too many men in the backfield, and this is what Coach Satterfield did not want. He said we can't get off schedule. We can't get in these 1st and long, 2nd and long situations.
Notre Dame very low penalties again. The Irish have only committed 12 infractions that have been accepted through almost 4 games. 1st and 15, and another flag on Louisville.
Before the snap, false start, offense, number 66. It's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
2nd in as many drives on Cole Bentley, and this is the time of the game that you have to play with poise. You've done what almost nobody outside your building thought was possible, even your fan base, for the most part. They came here and they have a chance in the 4th quarter. Now you got to be perfect.
Yep, and now you're going to have to overcome a 1st and 20. That was going to be a shot to Tutu Atwell down the middle, but Notre Dame was ready for it. They're very aware of where number 1 is lined up. And he's right here now. Let's see if they've got something for him.
Come back to the other side. Look out. Dalen Hayes dropped back with the big hit for the loss. The Irish defensive end out of Skyline High School in Ann Arbor.
This was a fake screen to Tutu Atwell on the left, and they're coming out to the right, and Dalen Hayes is just sees it all the way. No chance for that play to succeed. Well done.
Loss of 6 for Hayes. He brings the team together before the game start in that huddle, before they start stretching and warming up. He has really become a mature leader on and off the field in his graduate senior year. Run to the right, good move by Hawkins to get through a would-be tackle and take it across the 20 to the 21. Javian Hawkins showing you a lot here today. 15 carries, 51 yards.
Kyle Hamilton is a really good tackler, and he just barely got him down there. And again, it sets up a 3rd and 16, and this is not Louisville's game.
Got to get out to the 38-yard line. Essentially, Notre Dame has 4 safeties on the field right now. Crawford and Griffith, Hamilton and Brown. Cunningham drops to try to get it underneath and do the work. Not going to happen as Hamilton rallies to make the tackle on Hawkins at 26.
They had a chance, Mike, with Tutu Atwell, and I just don't think Cunningham waited this out. He's got him on a crossing route, and he's got a chance to maybe sneak this ball in if he waits it out. But he really can't because of the pressure. Yeah. But again, that's where Notre Dame wanted them, in 3rd and long situations. That's not Louisville's game.
Lawrence Keyes out, concussion protocol here this week. So Matt Salerno is the man back trying to catch the punts. This is the get out of the way situation, and it gets a Louisville bounce. Works out as well done for the Cards, and the Irish will start at the 23-yard line. 7:55 to go. The Ryan Harwell punt has given Notre Dame a long field to try to add to a 5-point. Coach is getting ready for the final 7:55. Here's the Pulse brought to you by Coke Zero Sugar. See how we arrived here. Notre Dame drove it down to the 14 and the 12 in their first 2 drives. Only had 6 points to show for it. Then they lost it on downs on a fake punt in the second quarter in the red zone. The Cards defense, maligned, has come up with 4 sacks. Marshawn Ford had a start of the 3rd quarter drive. Ender with a touchdown to take the lead. But Notre Dame responded. Ian Book's 13th career rushing touchdown, 5th this year, is how we've arrived at 12-7. Brian Kelly went for 2, didn't get it. 3 consecutive series with punts, and this drive begins with Kyron Williams. A nice run to the outside, and he'll be marked down at the 32-yard line.
And Mike, I know there's 7+ minutes left, but this is really 4-minute territory here. Notre Dame saying, let's take our running game, let's take time off this clock, move it down and get a score. And Louisville is saying, we've got to get this ball back. We can't let Notre Dame just pound it and eat up time. So this is a huge drive right here, and it's really 4-minute mentality.
And there have been long drives today, so there have not been a lot of opportunities. Check this out. This is Notre Dame's 7th drive of the game. Clemson scored 7 touchdowns in the first half of their 73-7 victory over Georgia Tech, and I didn't include the drive with a field goal in the first half as well. There's Clemson comes here in 3 weeks. Irish go to Pittsburgh next week. Need to get out of this one. Williams falls forward again, and he has the first down. Tony, when we talked to Williams about growing up in St. Louis, he was a Rams fan. The Rams were still in St. Louis back then. He told us a great story. He said he'd go to the Dome to the games, and he was one of the kids who went over by the tunnel at the end of the game. Hey, throw me something, give me something, right? So Adrian Peterson, then with the Vikings, threw him his skull cap. And he still talks about it today.
He still has it. I said, yeah. He said it was the greatest feeling. Steven Jackson was one of the running backs, was his hero. Steven Jackson threw cleats, and he said he just couldn't catch him. The guy behind him got it. But when he got Peterson's skull cap, it just made his year.
And what I love is you asked him now, even though it's social distancing, it's a different time, but now he's the guy people are looking to. Hey, Kyron, great game. It's amazing how the cycle goes when you look up to players and you want to be like those guys. Brian Kelly takes the time out here. Play clock was running down. They exchanged the tight ends a bit late, so a delay of game could have been possible.
First time out of the half.
So the Irish get down to 2 timeouts remaining. Tony, the running back, finding a running back was the question, and Brian Kelly's team has done that to this point with Kyron Williams. The offensive line had been very good, and they're trying to close the game out here. But overall, this has not been the performance that they were hoping for today.
No, it really hasn't, and I think it started with mentality. All the coaches talked to us about getting the passing game going and doing different things. I don't think they came in with the idea that, hey, let's pound the ball and continue our identity. Now we're going to see it here in these last 6.5 minutes. Can we just take the ball and do what we do and get our running back to just eat this clock up?
And it will be interesting to see how this plays out across the country as people see Notre Dame struggling with a Louisville team who was pushed through the 4th quarter, and then Georgia Tech wins the game going away, because everybody keeps seeing it with your ranking. This is a very early part of the season, even though it feels late.
It does, and you and I said this. Louisville is better than their record showed. We knew that from watching the tape.
You were all over that at the start of the week. First thing you emailed us as you watched the Cardinals. Williams looking for space. And that's what we had not seen from Louisville right there. Swarming defense. And I really want a lot of credit for how they've performed here today.
Yeah, and he told us that they had to stop the run and get it going. And C.J. Avery, their linebacker, said, we've got, do we have, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm watching the same thing you are watching the replay. Now they're going to rewind it. For the official had stopped it for a moment. Administrative. somebody lose their pants there.
That's really administrative.
Yeah. Here's Tyree tripped up as he tried to climb through the hole. Got to the 37-yard line.
But going back, Mike, we said C.J. Avery talked to us, their star linebacker. He said our linebackers are going to have to eat tonight if we're going to win this game. And they have done that. The linebackers have been all over the field. They've made plays. They have done as good a job as we've seen on Notre Dame's running game.
And here's their moment. 5.5. You don't want to let 2 more minutes bleed off the clock if you're the U of L. You got 3rd and 6.
And I believe they're going to pressure. They're not going to let Ian Book be able to run for a first down here and scramble. They're coming.
Irish front trying to sort who's coming, where they're coming from. Here's the pressure, picked up. Book fires complete for the first down. That was a big run play by Book, able to complete it and move the chains with McKinley.
This is a great throw and catch, but Chris Tyree is going to come all the way across and pick this blitz up and just give Ian Book enough time to make this throw in traffic. That is a big play.
Ben Skoranek, 11, coming across, had to be thinking, is that behind me? No, it's the guy behind you. You know, we've seen that now once each game. When Ian Book has to really load up and fire a ball in the middle, one, it's confident, two, it gets there.
On time, with velocity, and accurate.
Louisville, full boat of timeouts, 4.5 remaining in regulation. Run to the left, Williams. Gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down.
And Louisville is selling out. They're going to crash. I think Notre Dame continues to run, and you hope one of your backs can just split a seam here, and that could happen. You're vulnerable to a big play because Louisville is selling out on every run now.
So this Louisville defense, remember I told you how bad they were 2 years ago. They gave up 50-plus points in 5 straight games. Unheard of stuff at the end of the Petrino era. Tried to put the pieces together last year. Got a little bit better. Still a struggle, but better the first 4 games, although it didn't look it or feel it. This is the best defensive effort Cardinals fans have seen in quite some time. This run to the right will only get to the 47-yard line with Kyron Williams.
It's going to set up another 3rd and 5 situation.
Snap will come probably inside of 3 minutes as the chippiness continues.
And you really cannot afford a silly penalty here. You've got to just really play ball on both sides.
Brian Polian, special teams coach, going through the options with Brian Kelly. Notre Dame has done a good job of bleeding every tick off this clock. Picked up the last 3rd down.
And again, I think you're going to see pressure here, Mike. They're not going to want Ian Book to run.
Oh, he's got an opening with Skoranek, who'll have the first down. Ben Skoranek, 2nd grab of the day, and a big one to the 40-yard line with 2:53 left in regulation.
It's a really good call by Tommy Reese. He's anticipating the pressure, going to get in a bunch look and just go the crossing routes, and they just screen everybody off. They can't fight their way through. There's no help because the linebackers were coming. Well executed, but a really good play call there in that situation. Now you got a chance to run 3 more times, run this clock down. This is a good drive by Notre Dame, just what they needed in this situation. Ian Book coming through with 2 big 3rd down conversion throws.
That's what you said before. It's like a 4-minute drive, except you had 8. They may take all of that. Satterfield chose not to take the timeout there. Run with Williams. He'll take one here at 2:15. To use them all and get the ball back for some time. Irish by 5, trying to close it out.
Back here in South Bend, the Irish leading the Cardinals 12-7, and I've been patrolling the sidelines all afternoon, and there's a little bit more energy on Louisville's side. Smiles, players encouraging one another, especially after the big plays they've had in this game. As for Notre Dame, a bit more methodical with their planning, sitting with their positional groups, trying to figure out the best way to finish this game off and try to get this win. It also was rather chippy at halftime today. I would say both teams running off the field. This is what ensued. I ended up right up the gut between these two teams, but they were separated before going to the half, Mike, so keep an eye on that too.
Yeah, Catherine, it's been like that through the second half. Kyron Williams runs for 5. Satterfield will take his second timeout. 3rd and 5 coming up. 2:09 remaining, and there is that conversation that has been after most of these plays. To your point, Catherine, I saw that pregame as Louisville ran out. Notre Dame straight players were starting to stretch, and there was the conversation beginning there. If you weren't with us, Malik Cunningham cramped up. They've been working on those cramps, which have gone down to his hand throughout the 3rd and 4th quarter.
This is always a philosophical call here now.
Yep.
3rd down and 5. Your offensive coordinator wants to throw the ball, make the first down. If you're the head coach, you say, well, we should run it. We've got a good offensive line. We run it. If we don't make it, they have to take their last time out. We'll run the clock down. What do you do? And if I'm Notre Dame, I put the ball in my running back's hand, go behind my big offensive lineman, and say, we got to run and make a first down.
Because not to get too far down the hypothetical situations, but a field goal from here would be 52 yards. Jonathan Dorr has the leg to do that. There is a 20-mile-per-hour wind with gusts up to 30. Dorr had a really poor warm-up, but has hit 2 solid field goals. So you got to factor all that in as the what-if off-ramps before this play. And then after.
If you don't make it, you probably do the safe thing and punt the ball, try to back them up, and make them go 90 yards to win the game.
Mostly a moot point if they can convert. Kyron Williams to back, a 3rd and 5. The read is a hit. Williams bounces it to the outside, and Williams first down and more to the 11-yard line. Notre Dame has come up with 3 big 3rd down conversions on this drive, and that might seal the fate of this game.
Louisville guessed pass here. They played pass coverage. Notre Dame did the smart thing and ran the ball. It's supposed to go this way, but it's going to cut back. And let's watch Ian Book here deliver the big block. Well, not big block, but he got in the way.
In the quarterback's union, that's a big block, right?
Yeah.
Williams over 100 one more time. 124 yards, complete with the stiff arm. Not a Derrick Henry level stiff arm, but that was pretty good. Saw that Tuesday night.
Kyron Williams will definitely give a little high five to Ian Book for that block there.
Williams gains a yard there. Louisville take its final timeout with 1:25 to go.
Louisville takes its final timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
You can mostly, you couldn't take it either. You could mostly get the clock down in this situation with 1 timeout, but not fully. So you need to keep running the ball. Can't just take it in.
You have to run the ball, and you're going to remind everybody, hey, no penalties, good ball security. Make sure we finish the game here. You don't have to score. All you have to do is maintain possession.
Brian Kelly might be talking to Ian Book there about you can kind of take a snap, drift back for a few seconds, and then kill some clock, and it might be enough to dip you under that point where you won't need to run that next play.
It's so close. It's so tight here. You can almost make it there. Just have to make sure you don't have a fumble or a penalty.
Because this play will take 5 seconds, then you get the 40-second play clock, which takes you that next snap right around 40 for the 3rd down play, and you're in good shape. But Scott Satterfield's going to walk out of here very disappointed because his team had a chance to win this game, even though they only scored 1 touchdown. But this speaks a little bit to what you said at the very beginning. Better than 1 and 3. Stop making the big mistakes, and they'll have a chance. And they came in here against what we believe to be a very good team in Notre Dame, and has really had every chance to get this.
No, their defense played outstanding football today. Their offense, when they had chances, they moved the ball. They did hurt themselves with some penalties, which really hurt them. The last drive in the 3rd quarter, they got backed up by penalties.
Obviously, Catherine had mentioned earlier it's been chippy, so it's going to take a few seconds to watch how Louisville handles that. And McKinley will come back just in case. He's wasting some time before he puts the knee down. Unlike the NFL, play clock doesn't immediately restart. They give it a couple of seconds. And where it started there, the Irish should be just about at that edge.
And I think the officials are doing a good job here. They know that the game is over. They're going to let this clock run accordingly.
When snapped at the right time, this should be the last snap of the game. And a whistle. Stops the clock. Yeah, if that's on the offense, it changes the calculus a little bit.
Offense number 25. It's a 5-yard penalty. Be third down. Because it was under a minute, the game clock was running. The penalty is also subject to a 10-second runoff. Louisville has declined this runoff. Clock will start on the snap.
So there's everything there. And that changes the calculus of it just a little bit here with 42 left. Here's what Louisville has coming up. And as you see, they have gotten through the toughest part of this conference season by playing Miami, playing Notre Dame. They do not see North Carolina on their schedule. Played Pittsburgh as well at Pittsburgh. Book has to retreat a couple seconds, wait till it gets under 40, takes a knee, and that will do it. It'll be very interesting to unpack what is ahead for Notre Dame. You can certainly say that the Irish have to be pleased with 7:55 of a drive to close out the game, a turnover-free game as well. There's a lot of stuff they'll have to work on to be the equal to the number 4 team in the country.
And again, it's kind of what we've seen from Notre Dame. They did some things really well, some things they were just a little sluggish on. So Coach Kelly's still looking for that complete game from this group.
Well, the Irish will extend their home winning streak to 22 games and their best in the FBS consecutive game winning streak to 10. As they beat Louisville here 12-7.
We thought we'd have a tight game, just didn't think it would be this low scoring.
Not at all. The Irish are going to go on the road for 2. They'll play Pittsburgh. The Panthers with quarterback issues. Their starting quarterback was out with injury today. And they lost then at Georgia Tech, and then you see the Clemson game coming up. Catherine.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Coach, you talked about execution at halftime and how you wanted it to be better. How would you grade the second half performance from your team?
You know, I thought defensively, you know, we gave up the one drive. Other than that, we did a very, very nice job. You know, we couldn't get off the field on third down. We gave up a couple of third downs. But, you know, all in all, I know it's 12-7, and it's not going to go down as an instant classic. But, boy, we did a lot of really good things today. And, you know, we scored goals instead of touchdowns. And, you know, that's probably the takeaway here, right, is that we've got to get better in the red zone. We got to finish off, you know, drives. You know, we controlled the football, you know, virtually the whole day. We just didn't finish. And so, you know, great learning point for these guys. They played hard today. We got to make a couple of plays that we didn't make. But by and large, a lot of really good things to take away from, you know, a Louisville team that didn't turn the ball over, who was game today, that played very, very well. And our guys got to be excited about winning. Winning's hard. And this is their 22nd consecutive win at home. I think they're 27-3 in their last 30 games. I don't want them to be, you know, complacent because winning's really hard, but we'll learn from it too.
Would you say at all that you have a sense of relief a little bit after this game and this effort today?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's relief as much as there's a lot of good takeaways from it, you know, lessons to be learned about. You know, the preparation was really good. I thought the mindset was good, but you got to make plays too, and you've got to finish drives, and you've got to be able to finish in third downs and get off the field. And I think those things will be great for us to be able to work on and get better from.
And the team hits the road now for the next 2 for you guys for the first time in a while. How will you prepare the team for Pittsburgh this week?
Well, there's a lot that goes into that, obviously, as you know, relative to, you know, COVID, you know, going on the road. We've got to make some adjustments there, but, you know, we're going to play play, you know, in this league each and every week. Everybody's going to give us their best. As you saw today, that was Louisville's best, and we're going to get Pittsburgh's best next week.
All right, Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Catherine.
Mike?
All right, Catherine, thank you. More to come here as we wrap this one up from South Bend. If you haven't seen this, the last couple of games, Irish players go to their place where they kind of stretch and warm up for the alma mater for social distancing purposes. Pretty impressive, 22 consecutive wins at home, second longest win streak in the country. Longest belongs to Clemson. Seems like no matter what you say or what you do, it comes back to Clemson.
Yes, it does.
Ian Book, career rushing touchdown 13. Put the Irish on top, seals the win. We'll be back after this.